I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay. Now, Professor Bud Ayers is back to answer your questions that you have asked. Okay? Do you want to kind of give a little introduction?
A little introduction?
Yeah, whatever you want to start, feel free to do it.
Okay. How many of you want to be successful? Okay. Now, how many of you already know it's not your education that makes you successful? Okay. So, there was this magazine that came out. Time magazine. Okay. And it talks about the science of success. There is an actual science behind success. And guess what one of the most important things is? One word begins with M.
Motivation.
Huh?
Motivation. Motivation.
Motivation, nope. We need motivated.
Mindset?
Mindset. That's it, mindset. Poor mindset means poor everything. Okay? So if you're wondering why your life isn't going the way it is, check your mindset. It has nothing to do with your education. How many of you are taught that failure is valuable? Good. Okay, because we don't stress it enough. We focus too much on, oh, don't fail, don't fail. No, most successful businessmen fail a lot. Okay? And even some failures become successes. We talked about Post-it Notepad here. Did you know the Post-it Notepad was a mistake?
Oh, no, we didn't talk about it.
Oh, we didn't talk. Yeah, so some ideas started out as something else. The guy wanted to make something for his secretary. No, not even for his secretary. He wanted to make something, and the adhesive didn't work. He ended up with all these scraps of paper, gave it to his secretary. His secretary came up with an idea, and now we have Post-its. Okay? You know the bubble wrap was originally invented to be a wallpaper? Bubble wrap was originally meant to be a wallpaper. They thought it would condense sound, make the walls quieter. Nobody liked it, they turned it into packaging. Okay, so don't be afraid of your failures, because it could lead to something. So what I wanted to do was some of you had some great questions, and I wanted to cover those to help you get a better understanding. So one of you said persona versus authenticity. You inquired about managing the discrepancy between their true selves and their personas they present to authority figures in their career. This is an interesting one, because this is what gives you ulcers. If you're not true to yourself, eventually your body will eat you alive. Okay? Stress is the #1 killer. You know why it's the #1 killer? Because it's silent. And most people don't realize that they are fighting against themselves. When you're fighting against yourself, imagine waking up every day and going, hey, good morning, and punching yourself. That's what it's like when you are not your true self. Okay? After a while, it will eventually eat you up and you'll be miserable because you never got to be who you wanted to be. Most people in their deathbed never said, I should have spent more time at work. They'll always say the truth, which was, I wish I would have done more of this, I wish I was truer to myself, I wish I was more honest with myself. Okay? You can put up the facade, but if you notice, it doesn't last long. Eventually you'll be found out, and eventually something will happen to you. And that's what you have to find, and that's the hard part. If there was a real simple answer to this, we would all be doing it. The problem is there's no one answer. It's a whole bunch of things. Social media utilizations, effectiveness on platforms, TikTok, Instagram, marketing. Anytime you're putting yourself out there, you're going to be more successful. What I've learned over the past few years is you've got to be consistent. You've got to put something out every day. Okay? What I've been told is put something out for at least 90 days, every day. And it doesn't matter what. The main thing is you want to get into the algorithm, and you're going to start getting responses. The more you get people to interact with your videos, the more popular you're going to be. I'm still learning this myself in that respect, because I'm trying to develop myself as a speaker. How to come over, try that again. overcoming the fear of rejection. Okay? A lot of us have this issue. How many of you don't like public speaking? Why? Fear of rejection, feeling stupid. Okay? Believe me, I was one of you. Have I talked about Toastmasters? Did I talk about it? Hey, Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization that teaches you public speaking skills. I saw no value in it because at that time I was an athlete and I was playing mostly sports and really didn't have a lot to talk about. But my girlfriend said, my cohorts are all professional people. I don't want you sounding like an idiot. And so I ended up becoming a Toastmaster. And I used to be one of those people, when they asked me my opinion, I wouldn't give it. And after a while, after a year, I ended up being their top speaker. I ended up being 4th in the state. Something I didn't even want to do. Okay, you'd be surprised when you take a risk or somebody pulls you into something, and then you find out, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this. So, don't be afraid. Remember to step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone. Handling overcoming fear of rejection. So how do you overcome fear of rejection? You just gotta practice. You have to stop telling yourself, oh, it's me. You have to take a look at what you're talking about and understand that it's not about you. It's what they're dealing with. Okay? I'll give you a true story about me. When I was going through a divorce, okay, I have 3 children, not yet divorced, I was going through separation, and I'm a single guy, I want to go out and date again. So I went out to a club, and I asked this girl to dance. She literally did this to me. No. I felt this big. I did not go out for 2 weeks because I was so rejected, okay? Then I turned it around and said, well, I wasn't marrying her, I was just asking her to dance. And I can dance. So it wasn't my loss, it was her loss. Okay, so I took that script and flipped it. And so I started, if someone turned me down, no big deal, turn me down. We have a tendency to take things personally. Other people have other ideas, might not match with yours. Oh well, so what? We don't have to please everybody. Especially of those of you who remember your bank code, if you're an N, you don't have to please everybody. Okay? You do have a personality yourself. By the way, if anybody has any questions, you're more than welcome to jump right in. Okay, handling failures, the same as fear of rejecting. Sports, to me, if you're not in sports, handling failure is difficult. Let me tell you why. Sports, nobody wins 100%. You're going to lose. And there are some days that you're going to get beaten. And you have to overcome that. That doesn't happen unless you're doing something competitive. So if you're not doing anything competitive, you're not going to get that ability or the practice of overcoming a failure or overcoming a loss. Just like, who's a Niner fan here? Any Niner fans? Okay, how do you feel about yesterday? Sucked, right? I'm not crying about it. I laugh at these fans who are like, oh, their whole day is ruined, the Niners lost. Yeah, the Niners lost. It sucks, but you gotta keep moving. So it's all in your state of mind, that fear of rejection. What are you telling yourself when you get the word no? Are you telling yourself you're a failure, or, I gotta fix something? Building a strong mindset. It all depends on what you do on a daily basis. How many of you read books developing your mindset? Okay? I don't read. I apply. I'm a person who, I'll absorb a lot of things by observation. I've done enough personal growth workshops. I still haven't read a lot of books, but I've heard a lot about the books that I follow the books. Does that make sense? Like, how many of you heard the book, Start With Why? Anybody going to be a successful business person? Start with that book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. If you don't know why you're doing something, you're going to be lost. Your why is what drives you. Okay. Self-promotion skills. This comes with just a matter of the confidence and just putting it out there. Okay? Marketing, marketing, marketing. Every company needs it. Nothing succeeds without marketing. Okay? Look at, again, being a football fan, look at how many commercials they have on TV, on a football game. Constant, repetition, repetition, repetition. How many of you can remember a jingle from 20 years ago? Okay? That's just conditioning. Just gotta get it out there. So what drives me to assist? So some of these people here, some students were curious about what drives me to assist others. What drives me to assist others is my own personal story. Did I tell you about my stepfather? Okay. So my stepfather was a multi-millionaire. Okay? And he married my mom at a much later age, like she was in the 80s practically. And when he died, there was nobody there to bury him. Had he not married my mother, nobody would have buried him. Here he is, a wealthy man. Most people couldn't wait till he died, just because they wanted his money. And to me, it was like, it's like a real life Scrooge. You know, he was very good with it, and you know, he was happy doing what he did, but he left no legacy. For me, I want to leave a legacy. I want to share with you all of my trials and tribulations, not all of them, but most of them, to help you guys have a better life, because I've been blessed. I've been really blessed and lucky in all of the things that have happened to me. Even though I've gone through a divorce, you know, I found a better wife. Okay? Did this, you know, all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, in 2 days, I'm going to probably have my second great-grandson being born. So my grandchildren are now having kids. And I look at my wife's family, they're begging just to have a grandchild. Okay, so I'm really blessed. My sister doesn't even have a grandchild yet, and she's older than I am. And I'm already getting to the great-grandson. So my goal is to help you guys live better lives, because I feel I have some answers for you that you normally don't get. And one of the biggest things I have is that money has a tendency to destroy a lot of things because people can't afford it. Most of you would not be able to afford $40,000 of personal growth development. I did. I paid it. And I want to share that with you as much as I can. Because it's funny, like when you're going to a bank, who do they loan the money to? People who have money. They don't loan it to the people who don't have money. It's really strange. All right. Inspiration for writing. So what inspired me to write my book was I wanted to reach a greater audience. See, if you didn't take my class, you'd never get any of this. You'd never get the bank system. You'd never get the, you know, life is an acronym for living in fear every day. Okay, the one I did today was, there are 3 types of mad. Make a difference, manifest a dream, make a decision. Those 3 things will change your life. So if you're gonna be mad by making a decision, manifesting a dream, and make a difference. Whenever you're down in the dumps, do something for somebody else. You'll be amazed what it does for you. Okay. Gaining confidence. Gaining confidence is just a matter of getting out there and failing. Falling, getting up, falling, getting up, falling, getting up. So, one of my other stories. I was a professional ballroom dancer. I don't know if any of you know that. Okay? I actually started at 35. Most people retire at 35. I started professional ballroom dancing at 38. I competed till I was 55. Okay? And one of the first lessons I learned was never dance to be better than someone else. So when I was first learning how to dance, I had a teacher that I was apparently intimidating, and he came up to me and told me I would never be a good dancer. He told me all this kind of stuff to try to destroy my confidence. My teacher came in and ripped him a new one. Said, don't you ever talk to my students like that. 3 years later, I'm now in a professional show for the same franchise. And he's sitting off in the corner, he's not even in the show, I'm in the show. So I'm sitting there, I go, I'm gonna rub it in his face. I got out there, I was ready to do my stuff, I was so nervous, the music kicked in, and all of a sudden it seemed like slow motion. The music slowed down. It freaked me out. I totally blanked on my routine. I did everything, I did the one thing you're never supposed to do. I walked off the stage. Okay? And from that point on, I learned never to dance to show myself off. It was to dance because this is what I love to do. Because I had other intentions, I failed because it was about being negative. I never do that anymore. I dance the way I do because it's how I feel when I'm dancing. So how to develop more confidence is just fail more often. But bounce back from it. If you don't bounce back from it, that's gonna just destroy you. Okay? You have to pick yourself up and keep moving. How many of you, was it Rocky 5? Rocky 5? When Rocky's, God, it's like the oldest one of those, where he's talking to his son, he said, life is gonna knock you down, but the true success is getting back up. Not how many times life knocks you down, sometimes you get back up. And you gotta get back up. For me, so I'll tell you how I got myself back up. When I went through my divorce, okay, I'll never forget it. December 5th, okay, 20 days before Christmas, I left my house. I had 3 kids, left my house, going into an empty apartment. You know what that's like after 10 years of having children greet you at the door, all of a sudden coming home to an empty apartment? That's just destructive. I did not do anything for 2 months. I literally sat there, and this is Christmas. Okay, the happiest time of the year, and I've lost everything. I'm sitting here like this in front of the TV, just clicking channels. What motivated me to get out was I thought, how can I teach my kids how to live if they see me falling apart? I had a reason to come out of my depression, and that was my children. Because I knew if I failed, guess what? They're gonna fail with me. So I picked myself up, started playing tennis, and the next thing you know, I started playing co-ed softball, and I just kept getting out. And I just picked myself up. Okay? It's amazing what your brain will do to yourself, and how you talk to yourself. Adjusting the bank ratings. That will come with maturity or development. Okay? You cannot change something until you understand what it is. Most of you don't know what to change because you don't know what's wrong. Because you don't have all the answers. So you keep doing the same thing. There's one of a saying, a lesson is repeated until a lesson is learned. So if you keep doing the same thing, you haven't learned the lesson. It just keeps coming back. So with regard to bank, I did the Briggs Myers back in high school, and back then they told me I was supposed to be a policeman, an athlete, or an actor. Those were my 3. Because I was very righteous, I believed in right and wrong, I was also athletic. Acting, I never thought I would be because I was very scared to be open. Now I love it. Diversity, okay. The necessity of following bank system giving the diversity of life experiences. So, if you're brave enough to ask me this question, a student questioned the necessity of following the bank system, given the diversity of life experiences. What did you mean by that? Okay, the bank system works in anything. If you want to learn to communicate with somebody. Okay, if you don't want to communicate, if you want to understand somebody better, I'll take you for example. What's your name?
Mine, Maritza.
Marisa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember what your code was?
No.
No? Okay. This is something you want to remember because it'll help you understand yourself better. Who remembers their code? None of you? Okay? So, you're doing the thing that you should not be doing, which is called learning and purging. What I just gave you was worth $5,000. And you just threw it away. Why would somebody pay $5,000 to learn something that's of no value? Okay? You didn't see the value in it because you don't know how to use it. This is where information doesn't prove results. Action does. And see, you guys have gotten in the habit of absorbing information thinking, oh, I'm educated. But unless you apply it, you know nothing. Your degree is the same as everybody else, so you are no better than anybody else. Okay? So with regards to bank, when you're having challenges with someone and you know their personality type, you can either accept it or not accept it. If you want to fix the problem, you accept it and work around it. If you don't want to fix the problem, especially if any of you have a boss, and if you don't know what your boss's type is, oh, have good luck. If your boss is a B and you're an N, you're going to be suffering. If your boss is a K and you're an A, you're going to be suffering. These are all things you want to learn, not just book knowledge, personal knowledge. Okay? COVID ruined a lot of you guys because you lost 2 years of communication with people. I'm in a class where we're touching each other, and most of the guys stand here like this, like they don't know how to hold. Okay? So, whatever you do, don't get in the habit of learning and purging. You're just wasting your time. Career options for specific personality types. Okay, I think I covered that in the process. If you're going to be in anything that has to do with knowledge, if you're a K, anything that has to do with knowledge, science, chemistry, things of that nature, bookkeeping, accounting, that's going to be more your forte. If you're going to be in a B, you're going to go more like a CEO of something. You want to be in control. You want to develop a good reputation. If you're going to be in N, you want to be in the nursing, teaching, fireman. You want to be in a position where you're helping people. And if you're going to be an A, you want all the attention. You want to be an actor. You want to be an athlete. Okay, a business owner. You find out what it was? What was yours? I can't see that far.
It's a BKAN.
BKAN. So you like rules. Yeah? And usually people who like rules is because they want a stable life. They don't want any surprises. Was your life, if you don't mind my asking, was your childhood stable?
It was a certain point.
After what?
It was a certain point. Like I think after when I turned 13, it wasn't stable until I was probably like 21 or 22.
Okay, because usually most bees come from an unstable environment. They want to control everything because they want to know what's going to happen next. Okay, that's why it's important to know. I keep losing my page. Okay, personality traits and interviews. Questions about the impact of personality trait on the interview process and performance. That really depends on who's doing the interview, whether you're the same or different. And again, if you don't know who you are, you don't know how to answer. Okay? Here's one question I want you guys to think about. Why would anybody hire you? Anybody want to give me an idea? If I said, why should I hire you? What would you say?
Me? Well, what specific job are you talking about?
Just say you're applying for a job that you want. What do you want to be?
I just would say I'd be the best person for this job, and
Okay.
I'd give a bunch of reasons why.
Say that again?
I said I would give a explanation on why I'd be the best for this position,
Uh-huh.
and give a list of reasons why and a bunch of attributes that I think I have. But then again, I don't know what job I really want right now, so I can't
It
really.
doesn't matter. Let me explain. What a company wants to hear is what you're gonna do for them. I don't care if you're the best at what you do. What does that mean to me?
Yeah, but the question you kind of asked was like a little broad, so I can't really tell you what I'd bring to it.
I understand that, I understand that. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, regardless of the broadness of the question, the answer should be what value I will be to your company. Doesn't matter, because I know I'm a faster cook than everybody else, I'll produce more fries. I know how to cook burgers, so I will produce more of this, it doesn't matter. What I will do, because of my experience, I'll be able to bring in probably I'll probably be able to increase your business 10 to 20%. If you hire me, you'll hire less employees, because I do the job of 3 people. See, it doesn't matter what, it's what benefit you can do for me. Okay? So it's just a simple way. So if you're gonna hire, because everybody says, well, I do this, I do that, I do this. So what? You can be the best you can, so will this guy. This guy will be the best you can do. What can you do for me? That's what businesses wanna hear. Okay? That's why networking is so important. If you network, you don't have to go through half this stuff, because they already like you. That's how we'll figure out a way to get you in. Okay? Now, so again, personality traits and interviews. If you're being interviewed by a B and you're an N, you have to learn to develop being more focused and being more disciplined in your answers. Okay, and how you present yourself. Okay, if you're like someone who's a K and you're an A, like I said, same thing, you're gonna have issues unless you understand what a K wants to know. Working with unfavorable traits. How difficult is it to work with a personality type that may not align well with one's career choice? Well, that's gonna be a personal thing. Are you working for the money, or are you working because it's your passion? Okay, how many of you right now have a passion that you would like to make money with? Good, you'll probably have more success, because your passion is what drives you. Your passion is what drives you through everything. Okay, because you don't have passion, nothing's gonna happen. You'll just fall apart. Okay, starting a business as an end, that is really challenging, because the tendency is to always care about others. Now, if you're in a business that takes care of others, it's gonna be a little bit easier. Okay, I had to learn this the hard way. I have to focus on making money. I focus on taking care of people. That's my challenge. Okay, so as an end, you have to overcome your shyness, you have to overcome putting up other people's feelings first, you have to learn to be more aggressive, you have to learn to make better decisions, okay, and you have to learn to stand up for yourself. Especially, so when I tried to be in business by myself, being a nice guy, I got an order from this one company and said, I'll help you out, I'll give you your first order. And the SOB gave me a nice order, it was $2,000, back then it was a lot of money. I had to pay COD because I was just starting out, and I billed him for it, he didn't pay me for it. Then he said, come and get it. That was not something I wanted to ever do again. Okay, so you have to learn to be tough, because some people will take advantage of you. Self-discovery. Self-discovery is just putting yourself out there. Start taking risks. Do something you've never done before. You've heard me talk about your comfort zone? Okay, get out of your comfort zone. Okay. I'm just curious. What are you guys looking at? What are you looking at? Okay. I'm here giving something that's of value to you, and I see you looking there. What does that tell me? It means you're not interested. Okay, and normally what I would do is like, okay, I'm gone. Why do I wanna teach somebody who doesn't wanna take what I'm giving them for free? Think about it. I'm sitting here sharing my experiences that can be helpful to you. And I'm not charging you for it. Do you know how much people pay for what I'm telling you? $5,000 to $10,000. And you're just going that. Okay? Just want you to know, it really doesn't matter to me. Okay? Because I'm living my life. You guys are living your life. My goal is to help you be better. If you don't want this information, oh well, so be it. But for those who do, I'm gonna be happy to talk to you and help you. Okay? Self-improvement. The question was whether I would change anything about myself and how I view personal happiness. No. Okay, because happiness is a personal thing. You wanna know one of the keys of being happy? Okay, first of all, let me ask you this question. How many would like to know the keys to being happy? What does that tell you? If you're miserable, you choose to be miserable. I did this in my last class. How many of you guys, if I told you I could help you understand women better, how many of you would like to know that information? There's a reason you're single. Am I right? Right. Okay? I gave you something that could be of value to you and like, nope. You're throwing away a lot of valuable stuff, I'll tell you. Okay, so, anyway. Let me give you one of the keys to happiness. Stop judging others. I want you to think about this. Anytime you get mad, why do you get mad? Because you have a perception of how things should be, and that expectation is not being met. You get mad, right? So if you think you control nothing, you control everything. See, I could make this make me mad. Got a little upset, but oh well, move on from there. Because I choose my emotions. I choose how I want to feel. I'm not reactive, I'm proactive. That's one of the keys. How many of you read The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People? None? Is that a recommended book?
No.
Okay, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. One of it is to be proactive. Means do something. Don't always wait to be told what to do. Okay, applying the brain framework. Well, you have to understand yourself first. If you don't understand yourself, you can't fix it. You can't understand anybody else. Developing optimism. Questions about fostering an optimistic attitude towards career paths and buildings, determination. That's all up to you. What are you passionate about? Okay? Passion will get you through almost anything. If you don't have the determination, the knowledge, okay, action creates results, not information. Okay? All the classes you're taking, how many of you have already forgotten most of it? Yeah. See, you're being honest, that's great. That's what most of you do. You learn it, oh, done. I never learned algebra trig because I knew I was never going to use it. I never even took chemistry, but I'm still alive today. Okay, because I know what stuff I needed to know, and I took it. The inquiries about the accuracy of bank. Okay, so the 20 questions was actually a scientific study that they've done and how people respond to those questions. So this is all science-based. And the whole system of bank teaches you a whole technology based on AI and based on this study. And the thing is, you have to learn to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, what does that say? You're not true to yourself. You're just constantly lying to yourself. Okay, first thing is be yourself, be who you are, and accept who you are. Am I perfect? Hell no. I still have my things. But I know that I'm responsible for everything. One of the lessons I learned, which I live to this very day, whatever you think you control, controls you. Whatever you think you control, controls you. And I took that to the bank when I heard it. What it simply means is, who's good with money? Who's afraid to answer? Okay, good, there you go, thank you. Okay, you're good with money. Now, when you want to do something, you always have to check with your money first.
Yeah, have to
Yeah.
think twice if I really need.
Can I buy this, can I buy that? Yeah, see, I'll just go, I want it. Okay, that's my problem, that's my issue, okay? So whatever you control, so you won't make a decision without money, without consulting your money first. Okay, so let's say you're a person who's on time. Anybody here punctual? Okay, what happens when somebody is gonna be late? Drives you crazy, right? So they can actually control you from that point. Oh, I'll just show up late. My wife and I have this agreement, because my wife is always late, and I'm always punctual. Okay, I'll share a quick story with you. There was a time we were in Kansas City for a business meeting, and we were flying home, and we rented a car. She wanted to wait till the last minute. I wanted to leave a little bit earlier. We had to pull off, get gasoline. That pulling off and getting gasoline cost us 1 minute to be late and miss our flight. One, because my wife likes to show up on time. I say, you're going to the airport, you should never show up on time. You should always show up early. That cost us 9 hours. And believe me, I would not let her live that down. I said, next time I leave. So we have an agreement. If it's my event, I set the time. I can push her. Say, hon, I said I happen to be there, like when I teach. I teach on a Saturday, 7 o'clock. I gotta tell my wife, say, hon, we gotta leave by 6:30. It's 6:15. You know, I'll pull her. If it's her event, I'll just relax. Why should I get stressed if she's not stressed over her event? Okay? So, again, you choose your happiness. So developing optimism is just learning to see the good things in life. Okay? If you always focus on negative, guess what you see? Mostly negative. Okay? I don't know if I can show this to you. So I'm just gonna kind of give you a glimpse. A lot of these things are motivational sayings. Okay, like I have one here. Combining your belief, your confidence, and your action. That doesn't make sense. Oh. Success is as simple as combining your belief, your confidence with your actions and make it a habit. Anything about education? Belief, confidence, habit. Okay? Habit that keeps successful people successful is breaking the habit of giving up. How many of you have things like this that you read? I read this on a daily basis. So I keep my mind full of positive things. Let's here we go. There's no such thing as failure because it's a stepping stone to success. There's no such thing as nothing is working. You're looking at it the wrong way. It's easier to find men who will volunteer to die than to find those who are willing to endure pain with patience. So I'm always thinking in a way to improve my thoughts. Any questions? Did I go over my time?
No, it's okay. Take your time.
So, any questions? I think I pretty much answered all of the. Okay, moral consideration, again, that's up to you. Okay, I like to sleep at night. If I'm gonna give something to somebody, it's because I truly believe it's of value to them. If it's not, I won't even offer it. Like this. If I don't believe it's of value, I wouldn't waste my time speaking. Skill development, how to develop the necessary skills for certain roles were raised. Practice and meet with someone who already knows what they're doing and ask them. You guys have heard of apprenticeship, right?
Yeah.
Find somebody who's already doing what you're doing and talk to them and see if it's what you want to do. Discovering teaching passion. That comes from within. That comes from seeing the value of what you know and wanting other people to experience it. The reason why I teach ballroom dancing is because I found that ballroom dancing gave me the confidence to be who I am and allowed me to grow. Okay? Most of the times when you see dancers and you watch them grow, it's like you see them become an adult. 7 of my students became professionals and they had no interest in dance. That to me is a hell of an achievement. Let me see. Career transition experiences. Whoa. I've had so much experience I can't explain it. I've had 12 years in the plastics industry. I was an interactive entertainer. I was a loan officer. I was a title rep. I was never a realtor. But I've been in production, manufacturing, distribution. And a lot of this stuff happened when I got divorced. Because I had to get my mind out, I had to get my head out of my mind. By being busy, I kept myself focused on doing something and helping others. That's how you develop it. Just try something different. Okay. Now, improving your action traits. If you don't like who you are, change. How many of you have heard this saying? There are two types of pain. The pain of staying the same and the pain of changing. Some of you are not willing to go through the pain of changing. It means you have to give up your friends. It means you have to give up everything. Is it worth it to you? I don't know. It's your life. How many of you have you heard this? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Okay, good. How about this? Your income is going to be the sum. Oh, that's my hearing aids are connected to my iPad, so my iPad can talk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm hearing music.
You hear it.
I'm hearing music over here. So you are the sum of the people you hang around with. In other words, your income will be based on the amount of people you hang around with. And I just realized, I hang around broke college kids. That explains it. No, I do, because I teach a lot of my students. I see them afterwards as well. Okay? So, to conclude, you can be anything you want. You can do anything you want. But the first thing you gotta do is like yourself. Because if you don't like yourself, you're gonna destroy everything in your path. And the facet, one of the things you wanna look at too, is look at your childhood. Where did you get this attitude? I was really fortunate. I came from a very, good line. My parents were not unstable, they were very stable. And so I never was confused. They were always part of my life. Some of you, your parents were not quite so stable. So that allowed me to have my personality, which is just quiet. I'm an observer. I like to watch and I study. And I tell you this, you can learn so much just by sitting and watching people. okay? Instead of always talking, but yet I wanna be a speaker. Any questions? None? So, I hope, again, oh, that's you. I hope I gave you some value. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. And for those of you who wanna follow me, I'm on Instagram under Words Matter Bud. If you like my book, it's available on Amazon, or I don't have any on me, but I have some with me in my house. So if any of you are interested in that type of stuff, appreciate it, and I wish you guys the best of luck. Any questions?
Can you repeat the Instagram again?
What's that?
Can you repeat the Instagram?
Words Matter Bud. And that's where I talk about all these things. Let me just share with you this one letter I got the other day. I'll just leave you with this.
What's your book name?
Oh, what's my book?
Yeah,
Words Matter.
the book is
That's my book.
Words,
Words Matter.
words, Bud Hayes.
Okay, this is what one of my students wrote me. This is why I love to do what I do. I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to reach out to express my deep appreciation for the impact your social dance class had on me. Your lessons went far beyond just learning the steps. They instilled life skills that I continue to use every day. From taking action rather than waiting for things to happen, to building confidence in areas where I once felt weak. Your class has been instrumental in shaping how I approach life. I've also learned the importance of being present, enjoying what I'm doing, finding balance rather than taking everything too seriously. I've stuck with dance, focusing on West Coast swing at Dance Boulevard. Okay. So I hope you got something out of it, even if it's just a little bit. Because my job is to plant a seed in your head. The seed will not grow unless you water it. And that's my job as a teacher, is to plant seeds in your head. And it's up to you to whether or not that seed lives. So I hope you understand that I'm very passionate about what I do. I want to help you guys if you're willing to ask for help. And that's the first step. You gotta be willing to ask for help. Okay? Thank you.
The seed may blossom in a few years. You might think this is very worthwhile, okay?